Right now, as you're reading this, you have something in your eye that you've never noticed. It's been there your entire life. It's functional. It has a purpose. And you can't use it anymore. You have a third eyelid. Not metaphorically. Literally. Inside your eye, right now, there's a third eyelid folded up. If you look in the mirror and look very carefully at the corner of your eye closest to your nose, you might see a tiny pink fold of tissue. That's it. That's your third eyelid. The one you can't open. The one you're stuck with even though it doesn't do anything. And it's proof that you're still evolving. Or devolving. Depending on how you look at it. The technical name is the nictitating membrane. Or the plica semilunaris, if you're feeling fancy. It's a piece of tissue that sits in the corner of your eye. In most animals, dogs, cats, sharks, birds, lizards, this membrane is fully functional. They can pull it across their eye to clean it, to protect it, to keep it moist when they're focused on something far away. In humans, it's just there. Useless. Like a biological vestige. A relic. The nictitating membrane is made of the same tissue as your eyelids. It has blood vessels. It has nerve endings. Someone, somewhere in your evolutionary past, could use this thing. Could pull it across their eyeball the way your dog does when they're about to fall asleep. The way a cat does when they're hunting. But not you. Your third eyelid is stuck. Permanently non-functional. It's the biological equivalent of a button on a jacket that doesn't attach to anything. It's still there. It still looks like it should do something. But it doesn't. Why do you still have it? Humans are basically evolutionary leftovers bins. We're full of things that made sense when our ancestors were different animals, but make no sense now. Your third eyelid is a perfect example. You have it because your ancestors needed it. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, our primate ancestors had fully functional nictitating membranes. They used them. They depended on them. The membrane kept their eyes clean. It kept them protected when they were moving through brush or fighting or doing things that threatened their eyes. But then something changed. Our eyes changed. Our brains got bigger and our primate brains started depending more and more on precise vision. High-resolution vision. Our forward-facing eyes became optimized for detailed sight in specific directions. And the nictitating membrane became redundant. Not just redundant. In a way, it became a liability. Because if you had a functional third eyelid, it might interfere with that precise vision. It might occasionally slide across your eye at the wrong moment. It might reduce visual clarity even slightly. In a world where your survival depended on seeing things clearly enough to hunt, enough to avoid threats, enough to navigate complex social hierarchies, that slight reduction in clarity mattered. So evolution didn't get rid of the nictitating membrane completely. It just turned it off. Made it non-functional. You can still see it. You can still feel the tissue when you pull down your lower eyelid. But you can't use it. Most animals can still use their third eyelid. Dogs have it. When your dog is tired and about to fall asleep, you'll see that white membrane slide across their eye. That's the nictitating membrane doing its job, keeping the eye moist and protected while the dog is drowsy. Cats have it. Really clearly. If you've ever seen a cat in that state where they're not quite asleep but not quite awake, where they're just sitting and staring at nothing, often you'll see that third eyelid halfway across their eye. Birds have incredibly developed nictitating membranes. They use them constantly. They'll blink with their regular eyelids, then blink with their third eyelid separately. They can clean their eyes while flying. They can protect their eyes from wind and debris while maintaining vision. Sharks have them. Technically, sharks don't have eyelids at all. They can't close their eyes because they evolved in a way that made eyelids unnecessary. But they kept the nictitating membrane and modified it into a protective membrane that covers the eye during a strike or when they're hunting. But humans? We just have the useless version. The deactivated version. The biological memory of when we needed it. This is where it gets interesting. Paleoanthropologists can't tell you exactly when the nictitating membrane became non-functional in humans because they don't leave fossil records. Soft tissue doesn't preserve. But we can make educated guesses based on when our eyes changed. Modern humans have been around for roughly 300,000 years. But the major shift in eye structure, the reduction of the nictitating membrane to its current non-functional state, probably happened earlier, back with our pre-human ancestors. Maybe 1 or 2 million years ago, when our ancestors started walking upright and developing bigger brains, and depending more heavily on detailed vision. The timing matters because it shows how fast evolution works when there's pressure. When there's a trait that reduces your survival chances, even a tiny reduction, evolution starts modifying it. Not immediately. Not in one generation. But over thousands of generations, the pressure accumulates. The individuals with slightly more developed, slightly more intrusive nictitating membranes die slightly more often. The individuals with slightly more suppressed nictitating membranes survive slightly more often. And eventually, after enough generations, the trait is basically gone. Except it's not gone. It's just dormant. Your genes still carry the blueprint for a functional nictitating membrane. It's just switched off. The really wild part is that this isn't ancient history. This isn't evidence that evolution happened in the past and stopped. Your third eyelid is evidence that you're still evolving right now. You have other vestigial organs too. Your appendix. It used to digest tough plant material in your ancestors' diets. Now it's just a tube that occasionally gets infected and kills you. Your wisdom teeth. They were useful when our jaws were bigger. Now they crowd your mouth and need to be removed. Your tailbone, technically called the coccyx. You don't have a tail anymore, but you have the bones that a tail would attach to. Humans spend enormous amounts of money removing these evolutionary leftovers. We get appendectomies. We extract wisdom teeth. We have no cultural memory that these organs ever did anything useful because they've been non-functional for so long. But they're still there. And that means evolution is still running. Your body is still making tiny adjustments. The people with more problematic wisdom teeth are slightly more likely to have medical emergencies. The people with inflamed appendixes are slightly more likely to die. And over thousands of generations, these traits might disappear. Or they might not. Evolution isn't going anywhere. You're not a finished product. You're an experiment that's still running. So the next time you look in the mirror, look at the corner of your eye. Look for that tiny fold of tissue. That's your third eyelid. That's a piece of your evolutionary past, still attached to your present, waiting to see if it matters enough to disappear entirely. It probably will disappear, eventually. In 100,000 years, or 1,000,000 years, humans might not have visible remnants of the nictitating membrane anymore. It might be completely gone. But not yet. For now, you're stuck with this biological reminder that nothing about you is finished. That evolution isn't some distant historical process. That you are, right now, an unfinished version of whatever humans become next. And that's kind of remarkable when you think about it. You're not a finished product. You're a work in progress. And your third eyelid is the evidence. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe my channel.